Hello again, everybody. I'm Ed Robinson, and welcome to another exciting edition of Extra Base Hit. This is the program that gets you caught up on anything and everything happening around the world of Major League Baseball. Coming up on this edition of the program, we'll recap the American League and National League Championship Series. Plus, we'll preview the 2024 World Series between the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we pay tribute to one of the greatest players and pitchers of all time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. I like to start off with my top three storylines. I like to start off talking about the 2024 New York Mets. What a roller coaster of a season it was for the Mets. The months of April and May were not good for the team from Queens. At the beginning of June, shortstop Francisco Lindor held a team meeting, got all of the troops in order, and the Mets never looked back. From the month of June towards the end of the regular season, everything was on the up and up. The Mets would have the best regular season record since the month of June, and they really got their act together. And on the final day of the regular season, the Mets would beat the Atlanta Braves in the first game of a doubleheader to clinch a playoff berth. And the wild ride continued, coming from behind to beat the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Wildcard Series, then pulling off the upset, beating the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League Division Series, and then making it to the National League Championship Series, unfortunately losing in 6 games to the Los Angeles Dodgers. But what a magical ride it was. Since June 1st, with Francisco Lindor having that team meeting, the Mets were just on a roll, and they never stopped. As they say, all good things must come to an end. However, a lot of Mets fans, hey, I'm a Mets fan myself, gotta admit, it was so amazing. Kudos to Carlos Mendoza on his first year as the manager of the Mets. Also, owner Steve Cohen, who grew up a Mets fan. Kudos to him. Also, the president of the team, David Stearns. And this roster that they had, led by Francisco Lindor. What a great season he had. What an amazing postseason run that he had. Pete Alonso struggled at times, but he came up big in the series against the Brewers. He also came up big against the series against the Phillies. You also had Mark Vientos. Mark Vientos was really the unsung hero for the New York Mets during the postseason. Brandon Nimmo had his moments. Starling Marte had his moments. Tyrone Taylor was solid when it came to the defense. As far as pitching was concerned, Sean Manaea was the ace of all the aces really throughout the whole postseason run for the New York Mets. The future looks a little bit cloudy for some of the players. Pete Alonso is going to be a free agent. I hope the Mets can find a way to bring him back, maybe give him a long-term deal. But I know there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to pursue Pete, such as the Tampa Bay Rays. He's from the Tampa area. Also, Starling Marte, I believe, is going to be a free agent as well. So there's some key players that are going to have some big decisions to make in the offseason. But man, what a magical season it was for the New York Mets. Yeah, there's the other team in New York that plays in the Bronx, being the New York Yankees. But the other New York team, the team from Queens, they shine bright and they had a magical run. 1969 and 1986 are the last years that the Mets won a World Series. If they can bring back Alonso, maybe try to bring back Marte, they can continue on the momentum. And I really believe it's only going to get better for the New York Mets. And yeah, the Yankees may have more World Series titles, and big ups to the Yankees. But the Mets have a lot of heart. They have a lot of grit and a lot of determination. And for this postseason, it appeared that they stepped out of the shadows from their big brother known as the Yankees. But kudos and congratulations to the New York Mets. A magical season. They fell short, but nevertheless, the Mets captured the hearts and the minds of not just Mets fans worldwide, but baseball fans worldwide with their gut-wrenching play, their determination, and their never say die attitude. My next storyline is going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. So the Dodgers, they beat the New York Mets in the National League Championship Series from top to bottom, especially on the offensive side. Those bats were smoking in that series. Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, also, of course, Mr. Shohei Ohtani, right? What can't he do, right? And then Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman wound up becoming the MVP of the National League Championship Series. And then the pitching was just outstanding, particularly with Jack Flaherty and, of course, Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitching beautifully. And then coming out of the bullpen, you had Blake Trinan, who put on a masterpiece as well. So much pressure on the Dodgers this year. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, you know those guys, right? Chris Taylor, you know those guys, right? But when they signed Shohei Ohtani, the pressure was really on. Ohtani had some great statistical seasons with the Los Angeles Angels, departs from Orange County, heads down to LA County, and signs with the Dodgers. And the World Series aspirations got into full swing. The pressure is on for Shohei as well as the rest of the Dodgers. And rightfully so, because they rolled out the red carpet not only for Ohtani, but also for Yamamoto as well, to bring him from Japan, to bring him to the United States, and to be one of the starting pitchers for the Dodgers. The pressure has been on, but the Dodgers, the best record all season long during the major leagues, and they've answered the call. And now they've got one more hurdle to get over, and that's this year's World Series. My last storyline is going to be the New York Yankees. So we talked about the pressure of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Well, you know the New York Yankees, they're always under pressure every year. New York, hey, it's a pressure cooker. But if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And certainly the Yankees handled their business, had some tough breaks, but they were able to beat the Cleveland Guardians in 5 games to win the American League pennant. This was all about really Aaron Judge. He had his spots. He operated in spurts in this series. But Giancarlo Stanton, he shined bright in this series, knocking down some big hits, including some major home runs. Also, Juan Soto, he was very effective as well. Anthony Volpe was good as well. Gleyber Torres, Chaz Chisholm Jr. was great as well. Carlos Rodon was effective in this series as well. And I mentioned about the Mets being the other team in Queens, but the New York Yankees, you know, the New York Yankees are like the Dallas Cowboys of Major League Baseball. That brand, the pinstripes, you see the black and white New York, the logo on the cap. You know what time it is. And certainly the Yankees, with all of those World Series titles, man, I mean, you don't expect anything less. You expect nothing but the best. And certainly it was that way during the Steinbrenner era with George Steinbrenner, and then it carries on even to this day. So when you talk about the Dodgers having immense pressure, especially this year, well, the Yankees, it's pressure every year. And the pressure has really gotten to a fever pitch since Giancarlo Stanton has arrived, and of course, Aaron Judge has arrived as well. And we'll get more into the World Series preview in just a little bit. But man, the Yankees, there were some tough moments that they had against the Cleveland Guardians, but they held on through. They showed that New York grit, that hustle, that never say die attitude, and they were able to win the series in 5 games to win the American League Championship Series. So Aaron Boone, again, it seemed as though the last several years, it seemed that his job was on the line as the manager of the Yankees, but holding it together. And he held this team together, and when push came to shove, they handled their business. And of course, again, as I stated earlier, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton and company, they were able to hold it together and were able to move on to the big one as they would be able to beat the Cleveland Guardians in 5 games to win the American League Championship Series. All right, so now it's time to recap the American League Championship Series and the National League Championship Series. Let's start off with the American League Championship Series between the New York Yankees and the Cleveland Guardians. So game 1 was in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. Guardians, Yankees game 1, New York would win 5-2. The winning pitcher was Carlos Rodon. The losing pitcher was Alex Cobb. And getting the save was Luke Weaver. And hitting home runs for Cleveland was Brian Rocchio, and also for the Yankees, Juan Soto and Giancarlo Stanton. We move ahead to game 2 with the Yankees winning 6-3. The winning pitcher, Clay Holmes. The losing pitcher, Tanner Bibby. And hitting home runs in the game for Cleveland, Jose Ramirez. And for the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge. The series shifted to game 3, and this was a very exciting game. Cleveland would win 7-5. The winning pitcher was Pedro Avila, and the losing pitcher was Clay Holmes. And what was so significant about this game, because in the bottom of the 10th, Cleveland's David Fry hit a walk-off 2-run home run to seal the deal for the Guardians. And also hitting home runs for Cleveland, in addition to David Fry, was Kyle Manzardo and Jhonkensy Noel. And hitting home runs for the Yankees, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. Game 4, still in the series, is still in Cleveland. Again, this was another breakout game, another classic game, with the Yankees winning 8-6. Gleyber Torres hit a key RBI single to bring a run in and to seal the deal for the Yankees to give them the 8-6 win. The winning pitcher, Mark Leiter Jr., the losing pitcher, Emmanuel Clase, and getting the save, Tommy Canley, and hitting home runs for the Yankees, Juan Soto, Austin Wells, and Giancarlo Stanton. And then we had the elimination game, game 5, and this went into extra innings. Juan did his thing with the Washington Nationals, winning a World Series in 2019. Also had some productive years with the San Diego Padres. First year with the Yankees, that's why they got him, right? He hit a 3-run home run to seal the deal for the Yankees. This happened in the top of the 10th inning, with the Yankees beating the Guardians 5-2. Aside from Soto hitting a home run, also Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run as well. And the winning pitcher for the Yankees, Luke Weaver, and the losing pitcher, Hunter Gaddis. And that set the stage for the New York Yankees to win the American League pennant, ending the series in 5 games, winning the series 4-1. Giancarlo Stanton was named the MVP of the ALCS. And with this victory, the Yankees will advance to the World Series for the first time since 2009. So congratulations to the New York Yankees, a.k.a. the Bronx Bombers. Tough series, but Cleveland tested them. They were battle tested by the Guardians, but again, the power hitting of Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton came through big in the clutch. And clutch players, they have clutch performances, and that's what we saw in this series. We saw what the Yankees did, and Giancarlo Stanton, again, the MVP of the American League Championship Series. And again, the Yankees win the series 4-1, and the Yankees march on to the World Series. Let's move over now to the National League Championship Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Mets. Game 1 was in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium. Not even close. The Dodgers shut out the Mets 9-0. The winning pitcher was Jack Flaherty, and the losing pitcher was Kodai Senga. Game 2, it flipped. The Mets would go on to win 7-3. For the Mets, the winning pitcher was Sean Manaea. The losing pitcher was Ryan Brazier, and getting the save, Edwin Diaz. And hitting home runs for both teams. For the Mets, Francisco Lindor and Mark Vientos. Hitting a home run for the Dodgers, Max Muncy. The series would shift to New York, Queens to be exact, for Game 3. The Dodgers dominated, shutting out the Mets 8-0. The winning pitcher, Michael Kopech. The losing pitcher, Luis Severino. Hitting home runs for the Dodgers, Kike Hernandez, Shohei Ohtani, and Max Muncy. We move over to Game 4. The Dodgers continued their domination. The bats were rolling in this game. Dodgers would beat the Mets 10-2. The winning pitcher, Evan Phillips. The losing pitcher, Jose Quintana. Hitting home runs for the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts. And hitting home runs for the Mets, Mark Vientos. The series remained in New York, and this was all Mets. The Mets would beat the Dodgers 12-6. The winning pitcher, Ryan Stanek. The losing pitcher, Jack Flaherty. Hitting home runs for the Dodgers, Andy Pages would go on to hit 2 home runs in this game. And Mookie Betts would also hit a home run. And hitting a home run for the Mets, Pete Alonso. And the series would shift back to Los Angeles for a Game 6. And the Dodgers, they just had their way with the Mets, as the Dodgers would win 10-5. The winning pitcher, Ben Kasparius. The losing pitcher, Sean Manaea. Getting a save, Blake Trinan. Hitting home runs for the Mets, Mark Vientos. And hitting home runs for the Dodgers, Tommy Edman and Will Smith. So the Dodgers would close out the series in 6 games, as the Dodgers win the series 4-2. Winning the National League Championship Series MVP, Tommy Edman from the Dodgers. And certainly, as I stated earlier, Tommy Edman had one heck of a series against the Mets. And certainly, the Dodgers returned to the World Series once again, man. It's certainly, when you think about Dave Roberts and that consistency that he's had since he's been the manager of the Dodgers, the last time the Dodgers won a World Series was pandemic-shortened year in 2020. So hopefully Dave Roberts and company have an opportunity to win another World Series title. But again, the Dodgers would go on to beat the Mets in the National League Championship Series in 6 games. And Tommy Edman was named MVP of the series. All right, so now the stage is set for the 2024 World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. Man, when you think of Dodgers, Yankees, LA, New York, night and day, one city is on the move, moving to the beat of its own drum, full of energy, nonstop. You have a city that's hustle and bustle as well, but also with a laid-back approach. The weather, beautiful, laid back, chill, have a great time. LA, New York, night and day. And it's also reflective, not just in the respective cities, but also with the sports teams as well. And the Dodgers and Yankees are no exception to the rule. Hall of Famers galore with both franchises. Both teams have had impact players, impact managers. Both teams have fan bases that go crazy for their squads respectively. And this is going to be the first World Series meeting between the Dodgers and Yankees since the 1981 World Series, with the Dodgers winning in 6 games. And I could tell you one thing, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, 2 players that are once-in-a-lifetime generational talents. Aaron Judge has been nothing short of spectacular since he's been a part of the New York Yankees. Shohei Ohtani, you could put him up there with the modern-day Babe Ruth or any other impact players that have been in Major League Baseball. Aaron's played his whole career in New York. Shohei has played his whole career in Southern California, starting off in Anaheim, playing with the Los Angeles Angels before coming to the Dodgers, where he's been for one season thus far. Both gentlemen have won league MVPs, and most likely Shohei Ohtani will win his first National League MVP. Before that, when Ohtani was playing in the American League, he won 2 American League MVP awards as a member of the Los Angeles Angels. As for Aaron Judge, he won the American League MVP in 2022. But these two players have always been joined at the hip. Both guys are power hitters. You know what Shohei brings to the table, right? Not only being a designated hitter, but also being a solid pitcher. And you know what Judge brings to the table? Not only a great power hitter, but also a solid defender as well. And it's not just about Aaron and Shohei. Yeah, Aaron and Shohei may be in front and center stage, but it's also the impact players in this series as well, such as Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman, Chris Taylor, also Giancarlo Stanton, Juan Soto, Chaz Chisholm Jr., Gleyber Torres, just to name a few. And we've got the two managers, Aaron Boone, Dave Roberts. They've been with these respective teams for a while now. The Yankees the last time the Yankees were in a World Series was 2009. The last time the Dodgers won a World Series was the pandemic shortened year in 2020. And when you think of New York and LA, both of these cities are beautiful, both of these cities are magnetic, and they're captivating, but in their own special way. So different, yet both fan bases are hungry at the same time. Dodgers and Yankees, I know this is going to be marketing galore when this series begins, and rightfully so, because you've got a crop of great players on both squads, but beginning and ending with Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. This is going to be one for the ages. We've waited for this for such a long time, to see Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani go up against one another in a World Series. And now we've got it. And so, now you're probably saying, okay, Ed, what's your pick? First, I think this is going to be an outstanding series. Both teams will come out swinging. And I also think this series is going to go 7 games. And I like the Los Angeles Dodgers to win the series in 7. Shohei Ohtani will win his first World Series. It's always pressure every year for the New York Yankees. But this year I feel it was more pressure for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Shohei Ohtani, from the moment he arrived in LA, everybody was expecting the Dodgers to get to this point and get to the World Series. And now they're here. And the dream is going to become a reality. And I like the Los Angeles Dodgers to win the series in 7. And I like Shohei Ohtani to be World Series MVP. And there you have it. And that's going to do it for this edition of the program. And before we leave, some sad news from the world of baseball. We talked about the Los Angeles Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers lost one of their big-time players, not just for the Dodgers, but in all of Major League Baseball as well. Fernando Valenzuela passed away at the age of 63. During the time when Valenzuela was a member of the Dodgers, there was a phenomenon called Fernando Mania. From the moment he arrived in LA, not only were Dodger fans excited, but most importantly, a lot of the Latino community were drawn to Fernando, and it just took off like a tidal wave. And certainly the Dodgers, the television ratings, the merchandising, and the revenue went up for the team during Fernando Mania with the Dodgers. And Fernando was the first player in Major League Baseball to win the Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young Award in the same season. And certainly Fernando, again, a part of not just what he did for during the Fernando Mania period, but what he did for the Los Angeles Dodgers as a whole, and bringing the Latino community, and everyone else would jump on board and just celebrate his play. So Valenzuela played 10 seasons with the Dodgers before playing for other teams such as the Angels, the Orioles, the Phillies, Padres, and the Cardinals. And during his time in the major leagues, during his time with the Dodgers, 6-time All-Star, won a World Series, won a National League Cy Young Award and a Rookie of the Year award. Also won a Gold Glove, also was a 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner, led the league in strikeouts one year, and he has his number 34 retired by the Los Angeles Dodgers. And again, Fernando Valenzuela, later on in his career, he continued to be a part of the Los Angeles Dodgers, where he was a broadcaster for many decades. And again, Fernando Valenzuela passing away at the age of 63. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.